if you guys don't know what Disney Fights is a competitive yet friendly debate where I bring on 3 guests. They're going to go through 5 rounds, and they're going to be giving us the answers that they think are the best for each of these questions. A whole lot of fun. They're going to get about 2 minutes to make their case of their answer. Then everybody's going to do that. Then they're going to get 2 minutes to debate, tear down the other guys, and why they think theirs is still the best based on what everybody's said. So these guys know exactly what the others have brought to the table, but they don't know the whys. So that's what's really cool about going through this. And we'll get into each of those questions as we go through. But super excited about it, guys. Definitely, you guys are going to be the ones that make the call. So if you don't know, each round, after that round finishes up, there's going to be a poll that goes up, and you guys are going to be the ones that are voting on whose answer you like the most. Again, based on the cases that they're making, you will decide who you think won that round. And at the end of this, whoever wins the most rounds, they're going to move on to the semifinals. The semifinal winners are going to go over to the finals. It's going to be a ton of fun. So I'm super excited. Can't wait for you guys to check it out. And let's just jump over to it.
Let's get ready to Disney fight!
We're trying to be distracting.
Like we said, we've got our 5 rounds. I've got some really cool questions for you guys. So if you guys didn't know, Guest and Sky High used to work for Disney. So we've got some Disney related questions to start us off, trying to get some of their input on what they think the best things are around 2 of these categories. Then we're going to jump into a couple other questions that we have, including the final question of the night, which is going to be the greatest Disney movie of all time. So that one's going to be a really fun one for you guys to listen to. We'll talk a little bit more about that one when we get there. But first off, let's do some introductions. So I've got my little sheet over here. So in the red corner, you may think it's Edna Mode, but really it's ItsGuestGaming. And in that yellow corner, he loves those Disney Channel movies, but he's got an obvious favorite because it's Sky High Fan.
Sky actually isn't a Disney Channel original movie. It went to theaters.
Oh, man. True. Got me there. And in that blue corner, the man is dominating a DSA so much that his hands have just become one big blister.
Go, y'all.
All right. So we're going to jump into this, guys. We've got the first question of the night. A whole lot of fun here. So let's go over to the question.
Round 1.
So the question we're going to start off with is best Disney ride. So this one's a fun one for me because I love Disney rides. You guys know I live about an hour or so from Disney. Get to go over there all the time. So we've got some cool answers from these guys. This is not just Disney World. This is any Disney park. And these guys are bringing it with their picks for the best Disney rides. So last time we started kind of left to right in last week's episode. So let's kind of mix it up a little bit. I want to put you on the spot a little bit. But Sky High, do you want to go first with your answer to the best Disney ride?
I guess.
All right, man.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. So for my pick, I went for Rise of the Resistance. It's kind of a ride that a lot of people haven't probably gone on since it's so new and there's the whole reservations thing. But it's a ride that really just blew me away when I was able to go on it for the first time, because I'd never had a ride that encapsulated like entertainment so like largely. Because spoiler alert, sorry, but if like before the ride even starts, you're on this ship, and the ride almost starts basically way before you even thought, and there's this crazy pre-show, and then there's a little more line after that crazy pre-show, and then but like there's like characters out, there's stormtroopers, there's military officers like going up to you and like being all like rude and crazy, and then you get on it, and it's this crazy trackless dark ride with a drop and with these crazy character animatronics that like nothing I at least had ever seen personally, being a Disneyland only park goer. But yeah, it's just it just blew me away that a ride could be taken to that level, and they could just put that much like care, effort into just like having a complete experience for people. So yeah, that's kind of where I went for favorite ride.
Awesome. Pause that timer. I think that was good. I enjoy that ride. I think that's a really, really cool ride.
So fun.
All right, all right, Blister. You ready with your choice?
Sure, I'm good to go.
All right. 2 minutes on the clock and go.
Okay, so for me, and I'm at a bit of a disadvantage. Sky is coming into this with knowledge of a couple of different parks, but there are multiple parks around the world. So I didn't want to limit myself just to the experiences I may have had in Florida or other places. So I went with Pirates of the Caribbean, Shanghai, and it's the Battle for the Sunken Treasure. My argument for this ride is that it encapsulates kind of the classic Disney property of Pirates of the Caribbean, but pulls in so much of the new movies, all the different characters. Like you've got it's a dark ride. It was nominated as the 2019 Dark Ride of the Year. So it's not just myself that's actually making this argument. There are more people who've actually been there and been through it, and that speaks for itself. That actually handily trumps the introduction of my apologies. I love Flight of Passage. that came out in 2017. So this is actually a later ride, but actually as an attraction, spring forwards and is rated the best dark ride that there is. There are 2 full-size pirate ships that people who are going through this can go through. And as a water ride, it actually utilizes, it was a precursor for the Rise of the Resistance, where you're utilizing the trackless system. So people who are going through it can go through, in 360 degrees. And they're utilizing projection mapping, they're using lighting, they're actually bringing all of those things forward to where you have this experience that is, uniquely Disney, but authentically Chinese, as Bob Iger liked to say. There's nothing that I can think of that encapsulates that as well as this attraction does. And even being on the other side of the world, there's so much pride that the Chinese have put into that. It just comes forth in that ride.
Awesome. So we got a good one there. And so, guess we'll turn it over to you. We had a little bit of spoiler, but jump in there, man.
Sure. So yeah, as it was spoiled, my choice was Flight of Passage. Now, hands down, to me, it's the absolute best Disney park ride because it specifically also delivers exactly what it says it's going to deliver. You know that it's going to be a flying style ride. You're going to get into something that's going to give you the sensation. Obviously, people can't fly. And let's be honest, we know banshees can't fly, but it's going to give you that sensation. You know exactly what you're walking into. It's in one of the most ornate lands with one of the most ornate ride queues, without taking away from the fact that, unlike Rise of the Resistance, where it's 25 minutes of queue and only 5 minutes of ride, this is just a normal queue, and Rise of the Resistance has 5 pre-shows before the ride. That's insane. Mine has just enough. It tells you what the experience is going to be, and that's all you need to know from it. It gives you a quick story about the training, and that's basically it. Now, the 3D animation, I think all of our rides show fantastic 3D animation. I think we can all kind of kill that one. Let's just call it what it is and be fair at the same time. What my ride did was it took basically the ideas from Soarin' and the technology of what that screen should do, and the ride vehicle from Tron, and took the best of those 2 things and made a better ride. It has evolved from it. You want to talk about the evolution the same way heading into Rise of the Resistance? That's great. But when Pirates of the Caribbean is a boat ride, it shouldn't be a screen ride. And we'll get into that conversation in the rebuttal, but I'm sorry. I'll summarize it as this, okay? When you go to the ride, you go ahead and you speak to those people there. They speak the language of Na'vi. And in the movie, you hear the phrase, Onate Kameya, over and over, meaning I see you and I recognize you and I respect you. And I say that to my challengers as well. However, also in Na'vi, Oweya Makto Le Nisweti. You know what that means? It means my ride is better.
Awesome. Guess bringing the heat on that. Bringing the heat on that. All right. So now we're going to go into our rebuttals. You're going to have about 2 minutes. You don't have to use the whole time. You get about 2 minutes to rebuttal why these other choices are not as good as your choice. So again, we're going to come back over to Sky High. We'll give you 2 minutes. Tear them down,
I
man.
don't know. I feel like I got attacked on their presentations. I don't know. I was just talking about my ride, didn't talk about anyone else's.
Lister's got
So okay, but no, wait, my time. So in rebuttal to guests calling out my 5 pre-shows in my ride, I think you're thinking too small, buddy. Why does the ride only have to be when you're sitting down? The ride can be so much more. If the pre-shows limit the line, right? So every single pre-show is in place of a line. It's like they're making more efficient use of your time, because if you've ever waited less than like an hour for Flight of Passage, I don't believe you, because it doesn't happen. The line's always wicked long. I guess maybe not right now because of COVID, sure, but in general. I mean, as far as Shanghai Pirates, like, I'm gonna be honest, I've only heard it's like the best ride ever from anyone. And I've never watched or seen anything on it. I know like basically nothing about it. So I don't know. Your guys' arguments both seem solid, but I don't know, I had to defend myself there.
That's the point. Yeah.
All right. So we'll throw it over to Blister. How about you, man?
So, respectfully, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I absolutely love, Flight of Passage, but pirates actually existed. So let's start there. So, like, the reality of this is that this is steeped in some kind of lore that exists on the planet. As fantastical as that might be, the fall down of Rise of the Resistance is really like, and this is really painful for me to say as a designer by trade. It's the most perfect example, and I've used it multiple times in training of how design intent falls apart. It would be great if Rise of the Resistance you could walk through and then you come into the world, but it doesn't hold up, and I think that's really where it kind of falls apart. The story of that attraction doesn't hold up if you've actually gone and had you've gone to Batu, if you've gone to the Black Spire Outpost and had blue milk. Like, it doesn't, like, you start to lose some of this idea of the crash landing that's in there. I mean, the reality of Flight of Passage. I've stood in that 3.5 hour line there in the beating sun, and it's great to see some glowing flowers here and there. That's true, but at the end of the day, it is Soarin'. I mean, like, your experience is limited to 3D glasses rather than being immersed inside of rather than just a screen. It's 360 inside of Shanghai Pirates. So I'm going to stick with what I with that being the best ride, hands down. It's over 10 minutes of a full experience. You're not actually like in some kind of a staging area prior to the entire attraction is meant to be immersive, and you get that. You go under the water, you are above the water, like, you get all of those things. It totally delivers. Every in every direction. So I'm going to stick with what I got.
All right, guests. Now's your time. Tell them what's up.
All right, I need the first 20 seconds to actually Google your Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Not many.
Enjoy. You're missing out. Go to YouTube first.
Okay.
I urge you.
And believe me, I watched the whole ride through, and the entire time I was like, okay, wait a minute. This ride couldn't have even existed if there was a Pirates. There was something else very similar to this. Oh yeah, there was a Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and then that inspired a movie set of films that some were good, some were bad, and then it became a ride like that. Got it? Because they didn't want to bring the classic. They had to wait for the classic to be turned into a movie and then be turned into the ride. At least both for me and Sky High, we went right from movie to ride. So we skipped that whole first part. We didn't need to have other things happen. If I'm going on Pirates of the Caribbean, any Pirates of the Caribbean around the world, I'm looking to see pirates and animatronic figures. That is one of the most important features of that ride. You go into any of the other Pirates of the Caribbean rides, you know how many you see, good or bad? How many you see? You see literally hundreds. If I go into the modern technology ones, you know how many how many Jack Sparrows there are in the current one in Disney World? There are 4 different Jack Sparrows. You know how many total audio animatronics your ride has in total? Of 3 different characters, you have a total of 4. 2 Jack Sparrows, a guy that looks like a shark, and Barbossa. That's it. If I'm going to area, I'm looking for the rest of that. And I don't know what line you were talking about with a pre-show where you were standing in the sun for way too long. More than half of the queue for Flight of Passage is actually indoor. So I apologize about that for you. I don't know. You must have gotten lost somewhere in the land. Now, the pre-show, to Skyline's point, a pre-show is that. It is a pre-show. It is not a substitute for a ride. That's why Pirates of the Caribbean was transferred from being a walk-through event, which I know you know the history of just as much as I do, that it wasn't a walk-through attraction. It decided to become a boat attraction instead, just like the Haunted Mansion. So they decided to make it a boat attraction to make it better. Unfortunately, when you take a ride and you shorten the ride and give us more pre-show, that doesn't substitute for the attraction itself. So when I have to go through 5 different lines in pre-shows to get to your ride, I'm already too exhausted to truly enjoy it, and I apologize about that.
All right. So that was good. That was some good rebuttals. You know, guess with all the facts over there, looking it up, telling you how many animatronics are there. But yeah, all those fights.
Found it.
All those fights, man. Those are good. Those are good topics. So we're going to put the poll up, guys. So now it's going to come down to you. As the viewers, you guys are going to vote on this poll. Which person made the strongest case for the best ride? Which ride do you want to go on now based on what these guys said? So let's go ahead and start that poll. We're going to have 2 minutes on the poll. While that poll's going, I'm also going to be doing a Battle Royale. So Battle Royale, if you guys didn't see it last week, keyboard's back there. The winners of the Battle Royale, reach out to me on Discord. We're going to be doing away some giveaways, some gift cards, things like that. So definitely hit me up on Discord. We'll make that happen to the winners. You guys got those last week.
Blister, I voted for you.
You voted for me.
Yeah, I voted for you, Blister.
That part too. I know we all kind of have it. Like, I never got to experience Rise of the Resistance or the other, whatever that boat ride is. But I know that just from watching the videos of these rides that I haven't gotten to experience for whatever the reason is, all 3 rides, honestly, are really, really good rides.
Oh yeah,
Agreed.
they're like 3 of the best rides. Period. Easily.
Future episodes, this should be just the modern ride conversation, and then there should be like the classic ride conversation, because they're so completely different. Like, technology's just gotten so out of hand, and all 3 of our rides kind of show that. So this was for me probably the hardest one to prep for, because I just know so little about the other 2 rides, and they look so freaking good.
Yeah, they truly are. I mean, that's the thing is Disney has figured out with all these new rides how to amp it up. I mean, Rise, I ride that at least probably every other month when we go to Hollywood Studios, and like even like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad that just came in, like it's pretty cool with some of the stuff it does. Like they're finding some cool ways to make it fun for the adults, not just the kids and stuff.
I think also that these 3 rides also show that Disney, like just personally, I think Disney's gotten very reliant on the screen technology.
Yeah.
A lot of the new, just like the projector technology for like fireworks shows and presentations, they're very heavily dependent on that piece of the puzzle right now, because it ain't broke.
Yep.
So
Or even they just redid Snow White. I don't know if they did read it in Disney World, but they read it in Disneyland, and I went on it, and it's awesome. It's fantastic, but it really goes with what you're saying. There's so much projector stuff and all that.
Yeah. All right, so we got the results in, and guess is taking this one. Some Flight of Passage, 50% of the vote, taking it down. That puts Guess in the lead. So you guys got to come back with it.
I could have been tied with Blister if I didn't vote for him.
Or just said you did to see if he would vote for you, and then edge him out there a little bit.
I'm going to say in the chat, your votes for all 3 of us are important. There's 27 people in here and 14 voted. Send in those votes, get in that click, so we get that overall feedback from all of us.
Exactly.
Because it's about the conversation, and this already we're only 1 round in. This is fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we got some fun rounds too. So like we said, we got another Disney question coming up a little bit later, definitely round 4. I know you guys are excited about it, but it's probably one of my favorite segments, the movie Mashup, where I've kind of given these guys some random characters, random genres, and they got to mash it up and pitch a movie. So I love that one last week. Really excited to see what you guys do this week. So let's get into our next question. Next question, Disney related, like we said. So we talked about the rides. Rides are awesome. But when you're at those parks, you're out in the heat. You always got to find a really good treat while you're there. So we've got best Disney snack coming through. We got some really good choices here. So we started with Sky High last time. Let's start with Blister.
Starting with me, well, to your point, I'm going to have to go with, when you're out in the summer heat, that the Dole Whip cannot be beat. There's nothing else that I can imagine that is quintessential Disney as much as the Dole Whip is. It can appeal to anyone. It's ice cream, but it's not actually ice cream. It's a non-dairy treat. It's the only treat that I am aware of that has entire websites that are devoted to where you can get this treat. It's got a dedicated stand at the Polynesian Resort in Walt Disney World. So like you can go, and there's only a handful of places that you can go and get this thing. So it's a huge deal to me. You can get T-shirts for the Dole Whip. There are actually iconography. There's stickers. There's a huge following. So once again, it's not just me. I mean, the fans speak for themselves. The Dole Whip it's delicious. It's a sweet treat. It cools you off in the warm summer. You can get it as a float. You can get it with some pineapple upside down cake. So it's got, not only is it delicious standalone, but you can actually have it with some other, if you're, really kind of, not only are you, hungry for something that's delicious, you just want to get a snack. If you're thirsty, you can get some pineapple juice with it. If you're hungry, you can get pineapple upside down. And it's such a perfect complement across the board. So I had to go with the Dole Whip. The Dole Whip is one of those things. Thankfully, I can actually get Dole Whip mix and make it at home now. It's not quite the same, but it's dang close. And it's one of those things where it's one of those things beyond churros or anything else that really screams Disney to me as the Dole Whip. So that's my vote.
Awesome. That is definitely a good one. All right, Sky, we're gonna take it your side. What you got, man?
All right. So I'm not gonna. Mine is the baguettes, and I'm not gonna say just any baguettes. No, that'd be too simple because we have a theme going on with my answers today, and that is Princess and the Frog, New Orleans Square esque. That's our theme for my answers. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna paint the picture for you of you're in New Orleans Square, which is only in Disneyland Park, right? It's one of the few. I want to say it's the only land in Disneyland Park that's only in Disneyland Park. And it's the back streets. It's one of the quietest parts of the whole park. There's this. You usually go there at night because baguettes are so good at night because they're nice and warm. So you're in the back streets of New Orleans Square. There's a nice mood lighting. There's a little window where you get some baguettes, and there's just calm music playing. There might be the sound of the train going around and having the classic in and out of the stations if you've been to the parks. I feel like that's always a comforting thing. And it's just this opportunity to kind of reset in between rides and before you go on your next thing. And just put your feet up, have this fantastic baguette that's just, I don't know, it gives you this opportunity in this setting to just realize the ambiance of the park, because I think that's really what's the most important part and what's my favorite part. So I'm going to give that as my complete answers, the baguettes, because of the opportunity it gives you to have.
Awesome. So last but not least, yes. What you got, man?
All right. I'm already going to say, Sky High, you're a huge Beauty and the Beast fan. I know one of your favorite characters is Maurice, 100%. One of the best parts of that opening song is the conversation with the baker. And he goes, Marie, the baguettes, hurry up. Those are baguettes. Those are bread rolls.
Oh, beignets. Shoot. I said the wrong thing the whole time. You know what?
Now
I
that's
said the wrong thing the whole time, guys.
completely.
I got them
5
confused. Yeah, I just got them confused. Straight up.
bread, fried dough, whatever. So I'm going with something that you can't forget because it's known all around the world. I'm going with a Mickey pretzel because and to the conversation, great conversation of the Dole Whip up there. I also hate to apologize in advance that unless if it's Mickey shaped in the Disney park, it doesn't count as the best snack for me because top 3 best selling snacks in Disney parks worldwide: waffles, ice cream bars, and pretzels. All 3 of them are Mickey shaped, and they're successful for a reason. Now, it has gone through changes over the years. It was just a round pretzel with the 2 round ears, but then it got even better because the Mickey pretzel now, which you see on the screen down below you, now has more of the good parts. We all know the best part of a pretzel is the knot, the softer little extra parts there. And when you get the new version of the pretzel, it's like having 4 times more knots built into it. It is just and don't even get me started about the cheddar sauce. It's not cheddar cheese. We all know that. But that cheddar sauce that comes with it. So not only does it start as a better snack, you add cheddar sauce to it, and then it becomes even better. That's just not even fair, in my opinion. Lastly, to me, it's the best snack year-round in any climate. A Dole Whip is great, but only when it's hot. Remember, there, as you know from talking about a Shanghai ride a moment ago, that there are colder climate parks year-round where you can find both snacks, and the pretzel still outsells them in all of those parks because you can eat it when it's warm or cold, not just when you're warm.
All right. Those are good. Those are good cases. I like all these snacks. I know personally, I've eaten each of these as we've gone. So yeah, we gotta make sure that we limit that at the moment with the DSA weight loss challenge that's going on. But once that's over, going back to the park, we got to hit up all these. All right. So Blister, tell them why the Dole Whip is superior to the beignets and the pretzel.
You said it right. Sorry.
Not the baguettes, yeah.
Not the baguettes, but the beignets. But it's kind of challenging for me to even start with a pretzel because don't you need something? I mean, you're taking in all that salt. Don't you need a drink to go with that automatically? So it's kind of like you've got half a snack because you're gonna have to drink something with that. You're gonna be parched at the end of that. And I appreciate the whole not argument, but I don't have to go and search for delicious snack in the Dole Whip. It's already there from top to bottom. I don't have to go looking for knots to where I can get something that's delicious. It's all the way, from start to finish for me with the Dole Whip. Beignets are delicious, but I got to be honest, it's kind of messy, and I can't, take those and get it mobile ordered to go and take it into an attraction that's right next door with the Tiki Room. I get to enjoy that. I get to sit down and take a break and enjoy the amazing animatronics with my delicious snack. So I mean, for me, I think that ice cream is delicious. Even if it starts to melt a little bit, it's all inside of, it's completely self-contained. I can drink it, and I'm actually not left parched at the end of it. Dole Whip's still got it for me. I mean, it's the hands down. It's the best Disney snack. So,
all right,
respectfully,
Sky High. You want to talk about your beignets?
Yeah, so beignets is the word, of course. Who would say anything else? Not me. Anyways, so I'm going to bring up this whole selling stats thing because in a environment where there's no actual competitive scene, Disney has the most stands for pretzels and churros and popcorn for snacks by far. So yeah, pretzels are gonna outsell 95% of the snacks that only have one stand where they're sold. And if you think those Mickey pretzels are good, you're crazy. And you've never been to Wetzel's Pretzels. They're actually just bad pretzels. I don't get what the point is with those pretzels when literally go to downtown Disney. It'll take you 10 minutes and get a Wetzel's Pretzels. It's way better and probably cheaper. Dole Whip, though Dole Whip is good, it's I never really want a full Dole Whip. By the time I get to the bottom of the Dole Whip, it's probably melted because it's probably 100 degrees because we're at a Disney park. It's probably melted. It doesn't really taste good melted unless I guess I don't really like pineapple juice, so that would kind of make sense. But, as a non-pineapple guy, this pineapple snack isn't that good.
You should have
That's what I
coconut.
got. I don't really like coconut that much either.
You're killing me over here. You're killing me over here.
All right. All right, guest. Let's clean it up. Tell them why the pretzel is the snack of choice.
Sure, you got it. First off, the statistician on my left talking about the beignets and the one stand that they have to compete with. Let's remember something too, okay? Beignet is French Creole. It's known for Louisiana. Came from French dough, choux dough that you're supposed to fry, okay? It's based on French desserts. They brought it from Disneyland to Disneyland Paris, where the dough is freaking from. And it lasted a year and a half, and then they took it off the menu because the sales were too low compared to cookies and brownies, okay? So unfortunately, that's why there's only one. And if I want to get it in Walt Disney World, default Dan knows, you can't get it in a Disney park anywhere. You know where you have to go? To the Port Orleans Resort. I don't want to travel to a resort, or yet alone to a completely different park, to go get a fried piece of dough. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to get a churro, because I'm sorry, the Mexicans did it better. Now, moving on back to the Dole Whip, because it's the same exact dough, by the way. Back to the Dole Whip. If I wanted to have something creamy and citrusy at the same time, I would get a cement mixer, which is Bailey's and lemon juice. And that's just as appealing to me as a Dole Whip at this point, because it doesn't translate. You have to like specifically pineapple juice for it to be an actual Dole Whip. I'm not talking about variations. You want to go one variation because they went on cheese? That's fine. The original variation was with orange juice. We're not talking pineapple pieces. We're not talking waffle pieces. We're talking one specific piece. So I'm going to give you, for my cheese, I'll give you the substitution from pineapple to orange. And either way, if I wanted a creamsicle, by the way, which Dole Whip got the idea from was because of the creamsicle bar, which was an ice cream bar first. The Dole Whip came second. And the only reason that the Dole Whip even came to be was because Disney was so poor back in 1955 that they had to make an actual contract to pay off some of the park. So he said, I'm going to have a lot of this. I'm going to have a lot of ice cream. Sure, Dole promoted the idea. It wasn't even really a Disney snack. I know my Disney pretzel, making that shape is what's proprietary. But if I wanted to take a dump in something citrusy, I would take a dump in a toilet.
With your cheese whiz? Like if you need to actually like bring up your pretzel by adding cheese sauce, you got problems.
You opened your conversation with 5 different variations on the same ingredient. I remind you that it went better with one ingredient.
Okay.
Oh man, that was a good one. That was a good one. Again, Disney food, all food is good when we're at the park. You know, after those long days, you're just trying to find that snack. Oh, I love them all. So now it's going to come down to, again, what these guys say. Who made the best argument? Which one of these snacks do you guys want based on these arguments? Let's get that poll going. So again, we're going to have about 2 minutes on the poll. We'll do another battle here. So another battle royale. We'll get that going in the meantime. Yeah, I love snacks. It's funny that you guys, you know, we're looking at snacks and stuff. There's a lot, right? There was more that was mentioned kind of in the chat too. Some are specific to events and things like that. So I'm curious from you guys. So, you know, we have a lot of the events that roll around, and based on the events, they may bring in different types of things. But what do you guys think of those? Is there anything that stood out based on maybe event specific snack that maybe you see only during those events?
Oh man, sugar cookies during the Christmas parties.
Oh, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Those are ridiculously good.
Fantastic.
My God.
Anything during Festival of Holidays is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, or wine. What is it?
Food and wine, like
food and wine, yeah. I'm like, all those are just, you get anything and it's banging.
It's crazy good.
Yeah.
We got Disney Crew DSA saying the popcorn. That's a big piece.
I know. There are so many good snacks, honestly, and you know, in perfect honesty, you know, indeed. I love the Dole Whip, you know, but they're all really good. Let's call it what it is. But yeah, there are so many good Disney snacks. I tell people when they go to the parks all the time, you don't need to make dining reservations. There are so many things you're going to want in the parks, and even good quick service nowadays. That honestly, the last all Disney parks, they really stepped up the quick service game tremendously too.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it like in Pandora, in the Satuli Canteen, those little new alcoholic drinks have like the boba influences. Hey, boba. Like they're really good. Shout out to episode 1. They're really good. There's a lot.
Santuli's amazing. Like that's like the best, hands out. It's just the best quick service place. For anybody who has not been, it's amazing.
We did one night. We were just like sitting around, like, "Hey, you want to go to dinner?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's figure out where we're going to go." We were thinking about going to like Tampa or something like that. You're on the road 45 minutes an hour anyway, based on traffic. And I was like, let's just go to Epcot. We went to Epcot and just kind of toured around Epcot and got a whole bunch of little things at all the different places. And yeah, they got some good food that are there.
And to Sky High's side, in Disneyland, in California Adventure, that little hub of like amazing, like those bread bowls. I'm not a salad guy, but the bread bowl salads in Disneyland, California, like California Adventure, whatever the hell it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
the Pacific Wharf, that area. It's It's excellent. It's
good.
It's like a theme.
So we got the.
You got like the bread bowl, you got like the pretzel, you got like all the breads. Is that okay? All right, I got you.
Carbs, that's the theme.
He's on a.
I am going full on carb mode, Mr. Sugar Drink, Mr. Fried Bread. Okay, I'm going full carb mode.
I was going to say he's on the weight loss challenge at the moment, so like that's all that's on his mind. Of let's get to it. So round 2.
Right now, damn it, people. No.
So we got round 2. And this one's going to Blister. So the Dole Whips got the votes.
Hey, nice.
Followed by the beignets. So the Mickey Donut, not as loved out there, coming in 3rd place. But we've got Blister taking that one down. So now we're tied 1-1. Super, super exciting there with that, with those arguments. And again, I'm looking forward to these next couple questions because I know you guys have put some stuff in there. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's going to take us into question 3. Let's get that question 3 up here. And that's going to be best Disney villain song. So in the chat, guys, you guys listen to the arguments. If there's any villain song that they missed that they should have picked, let them know because there are so many good songs just in general. We knew this from episode 1 when we had just best song, Disney song with those guys. And there was people blowing up in chat of what they should have picked. But now we're going to be looking specifically at villains. And so Guess, would you like to start this one off this time?
Sure. And mine should come as no surprise to several people in this chat if they follow the channel, /ItsGuestGaming. It's Hellfire. Judge Claude Frollo, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. One of the most villainous Disney characters that they have ever produced. It's literally about a man whose interpretation of his life is literally purification. That's not good, okay? The whole song's narrative is explaining to God that he is going to either have sex or kill. That is it's not request. It's not what should I do. It's a declaration of his evil, knowing it's evil, whether he's going to give in to Esmeralda's lust or he's going to kill her. There's one of the two things and there's nothing in between. The whole gearing of that song with lust almost got the movie rated PG, which would have been a first for a Disney animated film. And Disney literally had to argue to keep its G rating, to say we're gearing to a larger audience with G. It's no longer just Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. We're now going for a full family, not specifically in the kids. And they've got it pushed on through, no matter what the pushback was from the public, even hearing the song in advance. The entire song is hell, sin, lust, damnation. That's not a Disney song. That is evil in all definitions of the verse. And don't even get me started on the music background of things, where it's taking in elements of the most classic evil elements of Latin and pre-Renaissance Gregorian chanting and having it scream in the background, where if you translate it, it's literally screaming back, my fault, I'm sorry, my egregious fault. Like, it is such a complex, one of the most beautifully orchestrated pieces honestly, out of all of the Disney songs, not even just from a villainous side. There's a lot of good ones out there. Be Prepared is another great villainous song, but I needed to choose one that the same singer finished the whole song. So I went with Hellfire because for me, it is the best song that depicts not just what a villain represents, but being that it is an announcement of its evil, it does a better job at being a villain song, in my opinion, for that reason.
Awesome. Great choice. Got a lot of people in chat agreeing to that as well, along with some other ones. So let's see what these other guys have. How about Blister? How about you go next, man?
Sounds good. So for me, this choice was easy. I go to the beginning of the Disney Renaissance films. Ursula is an iconic Disney villain, and Poor Unfortunate Souls is like her ode to being evil. The character herself just really inspires a ton. Based upon Divine, introduced from someone in drag into a children's movie. That's very bold, and I applaud Disney for doing something along those lines. But Poor Unfortunate Souls is just this beautiful depiction in like the storytelling and the arc of what has gone on and how she has seduced merfolk into agreeing with her magic spells is fantastic, and it's broken down so well. It was written and pitched to the actress as a means of getting her into the role so that she would agree to the role. So it's got that staying power, and it's one of those things that just really kind of speaks to you. But I mean, like through the course of this, she actually breaks down what's going to happen and how she's ensnared folks, and yet still this Disney princess of Ariel still gives up her voice, the one thing that she has that's so powerful is her singing voice. From the beginning of the film, she speaks to her minions. The boss is on a roll. I got her. Like she still seduced her through this song into agreeing to give up her tremendous singing voice in favor of what she's done, and it's done through the bars of this haunting chorus.
Awesome. And so, Sky High, we're going to come over to you. Let's see if you can continue this whole theme you got going on.
So I am continuing on my theme, absolutely. And my song is Friends on the Other Side from Prince and the Frog, sung by Dr. Facilier. This is such a cool song because it really sets up the entire movie. It's the first like large scene you get with three of the main characters of the film, being Dr. Facilier, Lawrence, and Prince Naveen. It sets up their motives. It sets up their past, their feelings on one another, right? Like whether it's the tarot cards that Dr. Facilier uses to like predict the future of these characters and show their wants and their desires, or it's like the shadow of Dr. Facilier constantly, pulling little tricks and giving him a high five and stuff. It's constantly setting up and building up these characters that it really allows the entire movie to go the way it did. And not only does it have like all these crazy jazz elements that are actually like really, really complicated music, even though it doesn't seem it, because jazz. But it's also just, there's so many just small, intricate things. And I mean, by the end of it, like a lot happens, right? And it sets up these characters to do crazy things, right? Like Lawrence, like completely screws over Prince Naveen. Dr. Facilier, like kills a main character, spoiler alert, later in the film, which is something a lot of Disney villains actually don't do. So I don't know. It's just, it has such a crazy story arc and such a crazy storytelling like element to it that it just gotta be my favorite villain song by far.
Awesome. All right. So again, 3 great choices. The chat's even agreeing with you guys. These are 3 great choices. Again, as we know, there's tons of great villain songs, but I'm glad you guys are bringing it. So, guest, Hellfire, why is it better than the other 2?
Well, right off the bat, because the other 2 are the exact same song. They're not. I hate to say that Friends on the Other Side is literally Poor Unfortunate Soul. So let's break it down like this. Okay, here's how they're the exact same song. First off, it's about a flamboyant car salesman style villain that was seeking out a hero character. The hero character comes on over, has an idea, and asks the villain to help them out with something. And then the villain, in an effort to convince them it's a good idea, literally begging the hero to be evil, the villain's waiting for the okay, it's a deal on everything I said moment. And then they transform the hero character into something that is not human or variant than themselves. It's literally copy and paste Poor Unfortunate Souls. Now, Poor Unfortunate Souls, and I love Pat Carroll. She is she's iconic. You hear her voice and you immediately think that character the same way. If I hear Tony J talking as Judge Claude Frollo, I hear that character. I do not get that impression, unfortunately, from Dr. Turn You Into a Frog, whatever his name is. So back on to Heaven's, that guy. So Heaven's Light, if you have not heard it, it's an embellishment of Hellfire. It's the pre-song that even happens before, and in Disney Tracks includes it as part of it. So you have to recognize that it's there. And it's both Quasimodo and then obviously Frollo talking about the same exact thing, Esmeralda. But it reinforces how demonically evil the villain actually is about what he's going to do. You don't hear at any point Ursula going on the notion of, I am going to kill you or I am going to get rid of you if you do not fulfill your contract. No, Frollo is going on the end of going, God, I'm either going to screw her or I'm going to kill her. It's your fault, not mine. You did this. You gave me no choice as a human. This is what I'm going to do, even though it's against my best judgment. This is what you're making me do. I'm going to do it. I am going to be evil. Ursula has to convince Ariel to take a fishbone and sign a paper. By the way, paper underwater, weird enough as it is. So to me, if a church didn't boycott your movie, which they did for mine because it was so demonic and so evil and so lustful, I don't think that as good of a villain as Ursula is, she could hold an underwater candle to Tony J as Judge Claude Frollo singing Hellfire.
Awesome. Good remarks there. Again, got some people in chat saying it's bold claims to compare both movies, but we'll see if it worked out. All right. So we've got Sky High. Were you second this first time around?
I was third.
Okay. So Blister. Tell guess why he's wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and guess, thank you so much for proving my point yourself. And it's so dark and just so completely forgettable for a Disney film. I mean, that's part of the magic. It has to actually have magic as a part of the delivery. And you know, I appreciate you showing that the Princess and the Frog, the Friends on the Other Side is just a poor man's copy of Poor Unfortunate Souls. They did it best. They did it there, and they kind of broke the mold. And that explains why it just didn't hold up musically. Hellfire is just too dark. I appreciate you talk about it being the best villain song, but it's just it's dark, and it's so dark. I mean, the Black Cauldron called, and they'd like to get their theme song back because it's just that bad. We should just forget that it was part of the repertoire. I appreciate that it was very very moving. I appreciate that it actually spoke to the darkness that was in this person. It's just too much. It was just like unredeemable for a Disney villain. Disney villains need to remain somewhat likable. You need to be able to root for them. They are a villain is the hero in someone else's story, and there's just nothing redeemable about your choice. So regretfully, I've got to go. Poor Unfortunate Souls. Ursula's just crushing it. Likewise, Dr. Facilier, awesome in the game we know and love, DSA. Not as strong. I mean, he's got he's got to call upon the other magics on the dark side. This is just voodoo. And as we all know, it just doesn't hold up. It's something that's not real. Like your song is a legitimate choice. So, Poor Unfortunate Souls has it for me.
All right, Sky.
You complimented my villain and my song in your No, you just get. It's great. He's evil. He's demonic. It's awesome. It's a great song. And
Absolutely.
then
It's just too much for Disney. It shouldn't be part of it. I'm just going to remove it. So
could try, but he'll meet you in hell for doing so.
he'll be with friends.
Let's see how Friends on the Other Side holds up. Take it away,
All
man.
right. I first want to completely agree with Blister. Voodoo doesn't exist, and sea witch magic does. So I'm really glad he pointed out that voodoo doesn't exist, because I think that makes my whole argument invalid. But for real, first of all, if you think Poor Unfortunate Souls is a more complicated song than Friends on the Other Side, I'm just like actually confused, because that's just not the case. Like, we're talking about jazz versus not jazz. Jazz is always like 95.8% gonna be more complicated. But like, my big thing with Hellfire is it's a beautiful song, but it doesn't really tell you anything. You obviously already know all of this from Frollo. Like, it's already been explained over and over again, when the way he interacts and the way he grabs Esmeralda. We already know everything that happens in the song. So it's a very beautiful song, but it doesn't have a lot of good plot devices. It just is reinforcing things that have already been said. There's nothing there's no new information. It's like, oh yeah, he still really wants Esmeralda, and then he still wants to kill Esmeralda. Okay, he still likes her too. Now we know. Yeah, I think that's all I got. That was fun.
Your song's about jazz. You're going against mine not having pop references? Really?
It's not about jazz. My song is not. If you what?
You said mine doesn't have pop rhythm, just because mine isn't AABA, just like none of ours is. Hate to tell you.
No. I'm just saying yours. I complimented the music of your song and said the story aspects of your song are not. They don't give a lot to the plot. That's what I attacked. I didn't attack it for not having pop songs or parts.
I want to take a moment to take my hat off to the competitiveness of Guest Gaming. Like, he's going to argue to the ground, into the ground, just digging.
If he's gonna argue, that's fine. But I'm like, don't argue on something I didn't say.
Argue the merits.
It's the playback. He said pop. No, but there's the clip. Honestly. Well, I got to give credit also to over to me as well, Blister, because I honestly, going into today, I didn't know too much about you personally, and your comebacks have been really strong as well too, man. So all three of us, I know that both Sky and I, seeing each other, are very opinionated, but I've never seen or interacted with you directly, and I get a good credit to you, man. You just keep up just as much, man. This is fun.
I'm trying.
So we got the poll out. The poll has limitations on characters. So when it just says Friends, we're talking about Friends on the Other Side. Poor Souls is Poor Unfortunate Souls. You guys know it. It's got their name attached to it, but just letting you know.
And there's some other Boba for calling out another insanely good option by Oogie Boogie, because man,
I was going to say that.
Close.
On Star, you're like a ton of play, like in the chat, and that's fantastic.
I know in the Discords a couple times, a lot of people were saying Scar, and I was like, yeah, I think Scar's a really good one. It's a memorable one. When I saw Oogie Boogie, it may have been Boba that may have said it in one of the Discords a little bit earlier this week, but I was like, you know what? I totally forgot about that one, but like Nightmare is one of my favorite movies. Especially the songs. I love all the songs in there. Right when it said, I was like, how did I miss Oogie Boogie and his song? So yeah, there's a lot of really, really good music, good songs.
Yeah.
So at the moment we got Guest is leading with Hellfire. Blister, Poor Souls is right behind it. Couple votes. Sky High is not looking too good, man.
I have unpopular opinions. And I have opinions for weird reasons, so
Story of my life, but second place all the time. It's all good.
Last place, baby.
Gary Seinfeld said it best. Silver medal, also known as the number one loser.
All right, we got foolish to say we're all wrong. The correct answer was shiny. is what we need to be looking at.
Yeah.
Tamatoa.
Good one.
Uh,
That's a good one.
So guess taking it down with Hellfire. You got 55% of those votes. Definitely everybody that's hanging out in chat, like Guess said earlier, if you're hanging out in chat, hit up the votes. Just click on that little button. It's either going to pop up for you or it's going to be right down below. Just put a vote in there. Let's see what we can get those looking like. So right now, we got Guess sitting with 2 points. We got Blister with 1. Sky High, there's still hope. We still got 2 more questions. You can come
Pour one
back.
out for the boys. Pour one out for the boys.
So we got 2 more categories, fun categories. So these are staple categories that are always at Disney Fights. You're going to get different answers every single time, but they're always here. So the next one we're going into is the Disney movie pitch. And this is going to test these guys' creative skills. So what I've done is I have randomized. Go ahead, guest.
No, because it's come up a couple of times in the chat. I think the crew needs to know. So with the questions that Dan gives us, okay, he gives us a giant list for us to choose from, and then the 3 of us choose between ourselves. So I think the way we kind of did it was I took like a bunch of them and said, these are Disney park ones and a couple of random ones. You remove one. What do you like? And then we choose the topics. And kudos again to Brit/DefaultDan/BeardBoy, for choosing great questions for us. So every week the contestants are choosing the questions. We wanted to talk about these ones. So any of the suggestions that you guys are putting into the chat for questions for us to talk about, send them. Go to Default Dan's Discord. Tell him, put this in there if it's not in there, because you guys are putting in great stuff in there, and I don't want to lose that while it's hot with them. We get to questions that are going to be in every single episode. I want to interrupt on that. I'll put your Discord in there too.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, and again, like Guess said, it's a giant list of questions that are there. I see a bunch in the Discord, things like that. Even when I'm just sitting talking with a wifey, she's like, "What about this? What do you think this is?" We throw it in there. So every week, those first 3 questions are going to be pretty much tailored to the guest because they're going to be pulling those out. And yes, apparently that is the new, but maybe not for long. That is the new nickname. So again, now we get into question 4, question 5. These are the staple questions. That way, every week, you're coming back, you could at least look at these. And so this one's fun. Again, testing this creativity. I give them 3 randomized. I got some wheels, randomizers, things like that, to randomize 3 characters, randomize 2 genres, movie genres. And these guys have to narrow that down to 2 characters and 1 genre. Let me know what that is. I don't know anything about the movie title. I don't know anything about the backstory. All I know is those 2 items. So these guys are creating a 2-minute movie pitch. That way you guys can guess or can determine which movie would you go see in theaters. Which one of these do you want Disney to actually make? And they have free reign of whatever they want to do with it outside of including those 2 characters in this one genre. So it's a whole lot of fun. So let's jump over to question 4. And so let's see. So Sky High, you went last time. So let's throw it over to you this time.
All right. Just go.
Yeah, you own it.
All right. So first, I'm going to introduce my movie category and my characters. Then I'm going to go into the bit. But my characters are Maurice and Maximilian Goof, and my category is superhero movie. Max may be lacking in brawn. Lucky for him, Maurice has enough brain for the 2 of them. When a time-traveling inventor from the 18th century travels through space and time, distance and dimensions, stumbles upon an unlikely partner, but an even more unlikely friend, Maximilian Goof. With the newfound resources of the future, Maurice can craft inventions with unheard-of power. But time travel always comes at a price, as we all know. 2 gnarly agents of time by the names of Guest and his ruthless henchman Blister emerge from the future, hell-bent on eliminating Maurice, for the agents of time want control of time for themselves. As Max is ambushed at the lab, he must quickly become more than a high schooler, more than a goof. He must become a superhero. He must become to the max. Just as all hope seems lost for Max, Maurice appears doing a quadruple backflip in the air. He has flashbacks to 18th century France. Gaston's voice. He was in here tonight, raving, raving. Suddenly, the lights flash off. EDM music starts blaring. The sunglasses go on, and the glow sticks come out. In but a flash, Maurice takes out both Guest and Blister with a toss of glow sticks. Mac picks up a dying Guest by his collar. "Who are you working for? Who sent you?" said Max. "The Master of Time," said Guest. "And who might that be?" said Maurice. "Default Dan," said Guest in his dying breath. This summer, Max and Maurice star in Stand Out, Superheroes of Time.
Awesome. Epic movie voice and all. Love it. The chat is going crazy. People are throwing their money. They're throwing their money. All right. So, Blister, you're going to have to follow that up, man. Let's see what you got.
Well, that's going to be tough. So my two characters that I've got is Stitch and Panchito Pistolas, and the genre is Western. So let's see if I can actually earn something here. In a world fraught by dirt and dust, one man stands alone, sheriff of a small town in Arizona. Panchito Pistolas has come to be elected the lawman, the peacekeeper, and he must rise above the most recent challenge, aliens. Gantu has recently crash-landed in this remote village, and the only one who can help as he's running from the Galactic Federation is Experiment 626. Stitch has been deputized and comes along to seek revenge on Gantu, as the tables have now turned in Caballeros 5, the battle for the Federation, coming summer 2029.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Sweet. So, Guest, man, that brings it to your side, man. Let's hear it.
Cool. All right. So the characters I got were Esmeralda and Gaston, and I had to choose between romance and thriller. So of course I went, it's a couple, so I went thriller. Directed by Christopher Nolan and soundtrack by Hans Zimmer. The year, 1485. 3 years since Paris has been freed from the hellfire of Judge Claude Frollo. Esmeralda is performing in her stage show for the citizens of Paris when a new face emerges on horseback from behind the crowd. Esmeralda sees him from the left and recognizes the broad, burly creature on horseback as she's heard of him from the newly arrived gypsy refugee, Belle.
Well, look there, LeFou. Ha! A girl who can't read. Now that's more...
What is it, boss? For on stage, performing, Gaston sees the most enticing creature he has laid his eyes upon in years.
Hello, and you are?
I'm Esma.
I was talking to that mantelpiece behind you.
No going live stands a chance against you, Gaston.
It's true, LeFou, and I've got my sights set on that one. I won't stop until his head is mounted on my wall.
Jolly rock!
Now, LeFou, you take any gypsy you can find, but remember, the goat is mine.
Sanctuary, please, sanctuary!
You again.
Patton Oswalt as LeFou. Henry Cavill as Gaston. Gal Gadot as Esmeralda. That goat who got stared at by George Clooney for 2 hours as Jolly. Jolly Holiday, coming the 6th of January.
That was a good one, man. People are dying. They're loving the voices out in the chat. Pretty epic, man. Pretty epic. All right, Sky.
I have no voice now, but that was fun.
So why should they be spending their money on the superhero film?
Oh shoot! I didn't know I had to do this part. So it's just arguing for my own film.
Yeah. So they got their $20. They're going to theaters. You know, it's probably like 40, 50 at this point. But going to the theater, why are they going to pick yours over one of these other two?
All right, you know, our trailer might not have had the biggest budget. Sure, we didn't have music or voice actors, but you know what? It did have heart, and you know what it did have? It did have the appearance of some of your dear friends in this DSA community, keeping lowly streamers like myself, Default Dan, and Guest off the streets. And really, can you compare some big budget Hans Zimmer hooey fooey to friendship and heart? It's the big businesses in this capitalist regime we live in that make movies like that succeed, and movies like Standout Superheroes in Time fail.
Go in the indie route. Definitely love it. All right, Blister, why do they need to spend their money on your ticket?
Well, quite frankly, because you know, you're not just seeing one, but I mean, like, this is Caballeros 5. We've got 4 other films between point A and point B. So, like, this is the gift that just keeps on giving. You know, like, there's so much to get into, and quite frankly, Cowboys versus Aliens needs some redemption, and who better to bring it than Disney? So that's why I'm not gonna like spend a bunch of time and effort trying to you know, talk down the Michael Bay of the other you know, side of this presentation. Well played, but you know, I got to give it. You know, everybody loves a good Western. You know, I didn't have, you know, time to bring in Val Kilmer to reprise his role as Doc Holliday, but you know, I think that he'd probably make a pretty darn good Panchetto. So that's all I got.
All right, Guest. How about you, man?
I'm trying to figure out how Maurice went for creating a wood chopping machine using steam to make a time travel device to meet up with an alien. That's part one. Number two, I love that your movie had to be inspired by a meme that you see on Facebook first. Kudos. Great shout outs. I appreciate being the villain. Always. That's great. That's fun. That's a lot of him in there. Now, as for Panchito, I love Three Caballeros. Don't get me wrong. Donald Duck is my favorite character.
Mexicans did it better. I mean, you said it yourself.
It doesn't make it better. It reminds people what cultural appropriation is, and the fact that Panchito has left merchandise and left advertising and left association with Donald Duck. He was barely reprised for 6 minutes in a DuckTales episode. That was his most recent appearance in 15 years. Yet he's going to get a feature motion picture with one of the largest Disney characters of all time. Look, if I'm using a laser gun as well versus a pistol, which is built into his name. Come on, really, cultural appropriation. That's where we're going to go. Okay, so I'm going to take it. I'll be on his side. I love that he's made an appearance in this. However, I think mine has spoken for itself, where it is a thriller about saving the goat. And if there's anyone who knows about a goat, it's our host, Default Dan. Hey, buddy, how you doing today?
It's true. It's true. I know all about them goats.
Yes, it's true.
I like how Guest you tried to look at Dan, but on the stream you looked away from Dan when you
Mine, I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
Hashtag pandering. I love it.
Wait, what's the Facebook meme that mine was inspired in? Not trying to make an argument, just genuinely confused.
There is a whole Maurice laser discs glow stick.
Okay, yeah. I just didn't recognize it as a Facebook meme.
Well,
no, yeah, I have an emote of that on my channel, dude. I'll put it in chat right now.
Yeah. Well, that's where I know it is the meme. Sorry if the location and its orientation was wrong. Reddit, Instagram, Facebook.
That's why I didn't say argument. I was just confused.
No, it's a great meme. It's a great meme. I saw it on Facebook. That's why. So
yeah,
great meme, but.
Kudos to the soundtrack, man. Like, I had like talking points that were like thrown together, just like bam, bam, bam. It was like mostly ad lib. So bravo.
But you did a great job with it. If that was ad lib, that was even better.
That was good.
That was great for for keeping up with the in a world voice.
So
We
fantastic.
We got the poll going, so definitely everybody think about it. Where are you spending your money? What movie do you want Disney to make? Which one do you want to be brought in here? What pitch got you thinking? We'll see what this one comes up with, because again, all different styles. Love them, love them. So we'll have to see which movie really tugged on these guys out there.
I can't wait to stream just to keep up with the chat to see what y'all are saying, because that's like every now and then when I'm glancing, I'm trying to attempt to mod every now and then, and I see the chat, and I'm like, oh, there's so many good conversations happening here. That's probably it's going to be the stream worth the VOD.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. It's fun seeing these guys also come back and say, what they think with some of these. But when it comes to these movie pitches, it's funny. A lot of money being thrown around. Take my money. After each one of you guys, it was take my money. Oh wait, take my money over here.
I mean, it's Scott coming with like the super strong rebuttal. Oh, I didn't know I had to do that part.
I think that just summarizes my personality right there.
This one's close, guys. So there's just a little bit of time left. We are one vote in between Sky High and Guest right now. So one vote is the difference at the moment. So make sure you guys are out there voting. We got more votes than we did before, but I know there's still a bunch of you. Oh no, we're tied it up now. 9-9. It's going to be close. May come down to the final. Oh, and we do have a tie.
Guys, I didn't lose every single round. Yes! Yes!
It was a great movie pitch, dude. It really was.
Solid.
I made it this morning right after waking up in my underwear.
It's where all great ideas come from.
Oh yeah.
Shaking! Works on many levels.
So right now,
that's what this was.
Yeah. So we'll see where we end up in the last question. Right now, we've got Guest at what? You've got 3 now. 3. Blister at 1. Sky High at 1. Yeah, we'll give you
on the board.
Half.
On the board, baby.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we get on question 5, because question 5 is also one of those staple questions that we're going to see every week.
Final round.
And this one works a little differently than what it says, right? So when we talk about best Disney movie of all time, it's relevant. It's relative based on what these guys are saying, because I've created a big list of movies. There's a lot of really great Disney movies on that list, but each week these guys are going to pick 3. So each person picks 1, and they're not going to be able to be used moving forward. So episode 1, Boba, Juice, Dark Spark, you guys got the full list. You got to pick whatever you want. These guys come in, and they're not able to pick Beauty and the Beast. They're not able to pick, and now I'm blanking on the other ones that were chosen. I'm going to make sure I say it right. Beauty and the Beast. Toy Story 1 is what Boba was arguing. And then we had Inside Out from Juice. So those 3, they're taken down. They can't be used. These guys are going to pick their choices and make those arguments. And as we go each episode into this season, that list is going to get smaller and smaller. So I'm really looking forward to the semifinals, the finals, because that list, they may be scraping the bottom of the barrel to make these cases of why those are the best Disney movies of all time. So definitely looking forward to this with all of the different choices that have been picked. So we're just going to go left to right this time. We're going to start with you, Guest. Greatest movie of all time.
Cool. All right. So my greatest movie of all time is The Song of the South. No, is Aladdin. Aladdin. I think we all know that's completely okay. It was a Disney Renaissance movie. So you know automatically it has to be some level of good, yet alone the best. Okay? Anything that has a soundtrack by Alan Menken, and that's multiple Disney movies, are also fantastic. And look, it ticks that mark as well. It has everything that a Disney movie needs to have, and is a very strong basis for what many Disney movies later on realized they needed to have too. has a strong leading role. It has not one, not two, but 3 hysterical support character animals. Now it's mandatory in every single movie, typically voiced by the same guy at this point, including chickens. It has a villain that is demonically evil in Jafar. It has a comic relief, but not just any comic relief. I think we all can agree that Robin Williams is one of the greatest comedic actors of all time. And this was a huge deal to bring someone like that into an animated movie. He even got special awards created in recognition for this because it had never been done before. It was literally groundbreaking. It has a strong female lead in Jasmine, who don't take nothing from nobody. Let's be honest here. It has memorable supporting characters even at that. It doesn't stop after 3 or 4. It goes on. You can remember the Sultan. You can remember all of the guards and the big one with the beard that's voiced by the same guy as Winnie the Pooh and literally sounds exactly like Pete. You can remember the merchant peddler, who's also Robin Williams, which is just another reason even more so to love it. It has a great villain musical moment in a reprise, literally mocking the hero in his own song of Prince Ali. It just goes off. It's ridiculous. Jonathan Freeman was so good as Jafar that they brought him back for the musical on Broadway to have him be Jafar on Broadway. Yet, and you're going to find out this over the next 2, because I won't spoil the fun. Neither of theirs were made into Broadway musicals, but mine at least was.
All right. We got some shots.
I don't know how I feel about this whole attacking when you explain your own thing. I feel like attacked when I shouldn't be attacked or whatever.
You're not ready for that attack just yet?
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to, calm, focus on myself.
It's the rough equivalent of like tying somebody's shoes, together before the race begins. I get you.
Yeah.
That's not competitive, it's cheating, but
Reveal flight of passage. You want to talk?
I can talk because I haven't.
All right, Sky High.
Over. You can't.
All right, Sky High. On to you, man.
So for my movie, I kept on the theme, guys. I'm going 4 for 4. Same theme, all losses. That's what we're doing. So yeah, I chose Princess and the Frog. This movie is a movie that really resonated with me for basically just since it came out. It was the second to last Disney animated movie to be hand drawn, and it was the last one was the Winnie the Pooh with Zooey Deschanel that came out in 2011, and that was very short. So it was like the last more longer musical princess epic story. And it's the first really large influenced Disney movie with Black characters. And working at Disney, I got a chance to work inside New Orleans Square a lot, and that's part of the reason it's so special to me. And I was a character host, and I would go out with the characters, and I would help them with their lines. I'd help people meet them, help people take pictures. I'd watch these interactions that people got to have, and meeting Tiana, meeting Facilier for most of the time these little kids, but really people of all ages, and seeing their just someone who looks like them being represented in Disney and in the parks was something so special and so important. So there's so many great things about this movie, but that's really wanted to highlight that I've just personally seen so many people get so much joy out of this. And I mean, there's so many good things. I absolutely love the jazz soundtrack. I absolutely love just how much it encapsulates New Orleans. I could talk about this movie all day, and I really went on a tangent in one part, but that's my bit.
Awesome. No, I think it's good. We got 2 princess movies battling out so far. So Blister, let them know what you got.
Indeed. So I'm going to continue to roll with the Polynesian theme after the Dole Whip, and I'm going to roll straight into a princess film with Moana. Moana has, just really encapsulated our own family's journey to be closer to the water, and so it spoke to us a lot. The idea of the hero arc, and this idea of characters that are overcoming self-doubt. Maui, Moana. Like she's always trying to get rid of the stone and this calling that she had to the sea. And it's not as much overcoming the sea, although there are like these physical challenges that exist. There are magical. There are villains such as like Taka. The Kakamora, Tamatoa, like, a lot of people brought up in the best songs, they're very, very memorable, even though it's more recent. But, this movie spoke to me and our family. It's kind of our go-to. So it was really easy for us, and there are a ton of great, great films, but the homage that was paid to the Polynesian culture just really, really stood out. The animation challenges that were overcome with hair and like it just continues to grow. The water and like all of these things just came together. But it was the story that really, really got us. The idea of this very, very young girl who's standing in the face of the challenges and expectations that her father's put on her, and she's wanting to do the right thing, but she's like drawn to something bigger. That's fantastic. Amazing. Voice acting with Dwayne Johnson. Let's start there. Lin-Manuel Miranda, contributed to the songs. I mean, there's just so much in this film that it keeps going. You see the projections that go on in the Happily Ever After show. When that shows up and you see, you have this driving song that comes up and How Far I'll Go, the cheers that are, that come up with the audiences. I mean, it not only stands out for me, but for others as well.
Yep. No, I think all three of these movies, again, great choices. The chat is saying that as well. So now it comes down to making sure they pick yours. So guest, why is Aladdin better than these other two princesses?
No, I bow in respect to both of these movies. And while down there, yes, I did tie their shoelaces. But remember that out of both of your movies combined, you still haven't matched up to the total recognition by the rest of the film industry as well. It has won more Academy Awards than both of your movies combined because it's easier to be higher than zero. So if you want to look at animated feature films, I can't even put myself in that category because that didn't even exist until 2001, that award. But if we reflect back, Moana, it was nominated, and it used the same animation that you're talking about with the water in another Disney movie, that same technology. It's funny you brought that up because you led into my own point. In Zootopia, which beat it from the Academy, which is really disappointing, unfortunately, that a bunch of furry animals just took down Hawaiian Princess. And then Princess and the Frog, you literally got beat up by a guy who attaches balloons to his house. Your movie lost to Up.
Do you actually think Up's bad?
No, cultural. I'm not saying it's bad. You lost. You were nominated, but you were lost. You want to go on the nomination side? If mine had been nominated back at that time, you know what my competition would have been? It would have been Fern Gully, it would have been Thumbelina, it would have been Sinbad, and it would have been Porco Rosso, which is an undercover pig from Japan. Do you know how much that movie made? $34 million. And it was the second highest grossing movie from animation of that year. You know what Aladdin made in that year? $504 million. And I'm looking at the camera the whole time because I know this at this point because I do my research. Now, if you want to look at the music side and Lin-Manuel, LMM, yeah, that guy, he makes a good soundtrack, but he's not classic yet. And you look at the success of what Menken did, not just in this film, but in other films, including the one I preached earlier. Let's rewind and think of that. It didn't just win Best Song. Oh, wait, it wasn't in an animated category. That's right. It also won Best Soundtrack and Best Original Score. Wow, it's that insanely good. And both of yours had nominated songs and both of yours lost. And even Princess and the Frog, it had 2 songs nominated and both lost. And oh yeah, by the way, mine had 2 songs nominated, A Whole New World and Friend Like Me. And it wasn't the whole compete against each other, unlike How Far I'll Go, which was all by itself. And doesn't get enough.
Right. Yep. So we got the timer there. Little over, but it's
I keep track. That's my bad.
It's all good. My Stream Deck, apparently the button was not working with the timer, so we're all good. All right. The Sky High.
All right, I'm just gonna start off by saying one of the 3 movies with the most Oscars is Titanic. has 11 Oscars, and Titanic sucks. Titanic's bad. It's like 2.5 hours, and it's just not good. Leonardo DiCaprio is like the only good part of it. I don't know. It seems very like, sure, we can say all these arbitrary things about other people, but what it really comes down to is what everyone likes the most themselves, because it's not which movie is the most classically best. It's just, hey, which Disney movie do you like? They're all Disney movies. They're pretty silly. You know, I don't know, there should be a lot of fun. And do I love Aladdin? Yes. Do I love Moana? Yes. They absolutely love both those movies. How can you not? But this movie is the one that resonated with me, and that's why I chose it. And I think it's a movie that everyone can resonate with a ton. It's about working hard for your goals. It's about not giving up. It's about learning to rely on others, and trust others, and so many other things that I think are really important. And that's what it comes down to. It's what movie resonates with you. This is what resonates with me. And if other people think Aladdin are better, so be it. But what do you think about it?
Awesome. No, that's good. That's good. So, Blister, finishing it up with Moana, man.
I'll try to bring it home. I really only have 2 points. Guest and both of you kind of like honed in on this, but like really the Oscars, like the viewership for the Oscars was down 58% this year. Like if we're actually going to use that as some kind of a measuring stick, keep tying the shoelaces, brother. So really, I don't think that is the right bar for success. I think that we've got to look at longevity and staying power. I mean, the Polynesian Resort is being completely rethemed around Moana because it proved so popular. The other thing, the last point that I'm going to make, I'm going to try to sum it all up. Moana is just like a staggering, just epic of a film. None other than Alan Tudyk with the voice acting power for a rooster. That's it. Hey. That's it. Like, you've got Lin-Manuel Miranda, you've got The Rock, you've got like all of these amazing things, but this redemption story, we talked about that before, but like really, Alan Tudyk is a chicken? Like, that's Oscar worthy right there if we're actually going to go back to that. So, Moana makes it right.
Yeah. My movie had 3 animals that kept up in the same rate as a chicken, and mine didn't and did use words.
They were voiced by Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk. Yeah, nothing. Was he in Aladdin? I don't think so.
No, but I had Robin Williams and Gilbert Gottfried. Come on.
Yeah, all right. Respect for Robin.
Yep. Yeah. All right, so we'll get the poll up. So like we said, yes, there one need to get docked a little bit for going over, but it's fine. It's fine. We know we had we had the close one right now. So if we look at the tie from last question, if we just kind of throw that over to Sky, that puts us at 2 to Guest, 1 to Sky, 1 to Blister. So this question is going to matter. If one of you guys tie it up and get the vote here, we're going to go to a sudden death. And it'll be whoever that is against Guest. We'll just make up a question on the spot. We'll figure it out. And then if not, if Guest takes us down, he'll be the winner. So we're going to put throw that poll back up. You guys got 2 minutes. We're going to throw in the Battle Royale again. Who can take that Battle Royale down. But yeah, best movie, like I said, there's so many good Disney movies. And the thing is, when I created this list and I actually went back and looked at every Disney movie, there's so many movies. So to kind of pare that down was pretty insane just to start. So I think most movies any of you guys will pick will be good ones. But yeah, I like it. We got 3 princess movies essentially going up against each other, all different decades. If you kind of look at it, like Aladdin's older than Princess and the Frog, and then Moana is one of the newer ones. So I like it. So we'll see how those votes are coming in.
Yeah, these are like all top 10 Disney movies for me, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard, honestly, trying to think of because Moana's so good, and it's very like it's a very introverted storyline that's very obvious to follow, and then Princess and the Frog has a lot of metaphorical analysis that is honestly required. But if you understand it, you realize like everything you said is 100% correct. It's a really
Yeah.
good way, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're all real movies.
To your point, Aladdin. I mean, like Robin Williams is like. I mean, he broke the
Oh,
mold.
yeah.
Like they recreated the animation to follow him. So
Yeah.
props.
I don't know if you go on Google or YouTube or wherever you want, and if you look up, find the scene of him improvising with the table of props for the peddler, and it's just a short clip.
It's art.
Funny, yeah, it is an art. It's so funny. He was a genius.
Yeah, it's good. And again, what I really love about these different battles here is like you can go down any route, right? Like somebody could have picked Frozen and be like, look how much money Frozen made, right? Or whatever. Like there's so many different routes that you could go. And I love that you guys are picking your favorite. Movies that you watch, with your family, movies that you grew up watching, and that's what you're going with. So it's always a good thing. And so with that being said, we do have a tie. So Blister took this one down, giving him 2 points. I'm sorry, Sky
close,
High.
Blister. I was only eight votes behind you. It was so close.
But Sky High.
See, I saw 11 votes. I didn't even see what I had. So kudos, great job, dude.
Yeah, you had 5, so you only had 2 above Sky there. But
that's pretty bad if you're that close to me. Self-deprecating joke.
They really did not like him going over apparently. But yeah, just what's gonna be
I
nice
got a
here,
timer. I'm watching my clock. I'm like keeping it in time.
And I'll get better at it as we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking. It's here.
I'll get better with my timers and whatnot. Yeah, my Stream Deck just decided to die on me halfway through round 1. So
improv.
But the good thing, though, Sky High, it doesn't mean you're completely out of this. You are for this particular episode, but we're going to be doing an episode a little bit later. Episode 9 is going to be a wild card episode. So the viewers are going to choose who they want to bring back. So again, we've got from first episode, we got Boba, we've got Juice that can come back. And later, we're going to have one of these 2 guys and yourself that the fans can get out there. So make sure you guys, get that word out there as we get closer to that one. So,
yeah.
So Yuri,
honestly, I'm happy to be on here. I did not have a huge desire to win or anything. I just wanted to have fun, and I had a ton of fun. So I'm glad I came.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a ton of fun. So we've got to answer Yuri's question, we've got Blister with 2 points. We've got Guest with 2 points. We're gonna go to some sudden death. This happened last week, and I said I was gonna be more prepared, but I'm not as prepared as I should be. So we're going to come up with a good one. So let me go.
Sky High. Why don't you feed a question to him?
Oh, why? Now the pressure's on. It's like choosing where I want to eat food or something.
I like one of the ones in the chat. I don't know if you see Aladdin's comment in the chat.
Aladdin's? Ooh, I like. Yeah, let's do it. Let's run with it.
All right. So we're gonna. All right, I'm gonna randomly. I've got numbers in my head of who's who. Sky, pick 1 or 2.
1.
All right, so Guest, you're gonna be going first. Best hero villain fight. So we'll give you a little bit. Same thing there, Blister. Think about this for just a few. But best hero villain fight from a movie. You're gonna pitch this, and again, everybody out there, you guys are gonna be the one to make the decision of who's going to move on. So this is not only who wins this question, but keep in mind at the end of this, it's also who you guys want to see to move on to the semifinals based on this question, as well as the last questions and the ones that they won.
Okay.
So many.
I have mine. I want to wait until Blister feels comfortable also with his, so he can listen, so he's not going back and forth either. So.
I was born ready. I got it. Unless you pick the same one, when we're screwed.
Just let me know right off the bat if Beast versus Gaston is yours.
Nope.
Cool. Okay. So I'm going to go with Beast versus Gaston for hero villain fight. I think it is one of the, for a number of different reasons. Number one, you could picture it right now. You can picture the rain, you can picture the rooftop, you can picture those very memorable characters. I was literally debating about going on a personal side with Hunchback on this one, but I don't think that's going to hold weight to how good of a villain Gaston is. And the fact that the fight has multiple layers to it. It's a defeated Beast at first, and then it's very favorable towards Gaston, literally beating down on him. The reinvigoration of Beast and showing his actual true beastly brute strength of power to realize that he has something worth living, fighting, going for, overpowers Gaston. And in a moment of disparity, of Gaston being held off the edge, begging and pleading, Beast has a revelation moment in the middle of the fight and is able to go on and say, you know what, I'm better than this. And the fact that he technically is not the one that actually truly defeats Gaston, and Gaston falls to his own demise, speaks to how strong of a character both Beast and Gaston are. The fact that Beast didn't have to. He could have easily, literally squished his throat, called it a day, and ended it. But the fight doesn't have to be about winning necessarily against the person. It's about winning for yourself. And Beast proved that in that moment. Gaston, being evil, defeated himself. Beast won and proved to himself what kind of person he eventually would also turn back into. It is a magnificent fight. It is beautifully choreographed and orchestrated. I think it is memorable enough that everyone in the audience right now can picture that fight. And if you can picture that fight, that means it was worth saying it was one of the best.
Good. It's a good one. It's definitely one of those memorable ones. Again, maybe because that's what we all grew up on around that time frame. How about you, Blister? What you got is your best hero versus villain fight?
I'm going to go a little bit off the beaten path. Again, respectfully, I'm going to go with raw creativity. Best hero and villain fight is Madame Mim and Merlin. Just in terms of overall creativity, Madame Mim plays just the villain to a T. The idea of like she goes invisible. She like breaks all of her own rules. Just like no pink dragon. She turns into a pink dragon. You've got a goat. Like you have all of these different things that are like coming together into this culmination of a battle of wits. And they speak to that, through the character of Archimedes. It's a battle of wits. It's this outsmarting. And in terms of overall creativity, the fact that Merlin bests Madame Mim by turning himself into a disease doesn't actually violate. I mean, he shows himself to be the hero and still overcome the villainy. So for me, I've got to give it up to Sword in the Stone, best villain and hero fight. Madame Mim and Merlin.
Those are good ones. So just like before, we're gonna have our 2-minute rebuttal. What do you think, guest? Why is yours better than Blister's?
Well, like I did with, unfortunately, Pirates of the Caribbean, I'm going to revisit the notion that I'm going to have to Google this just to remember what this was, because you're going to get as many votes in the chat as number of people who have watched this movie during quarantine.
You know better than that.
I know better enough to know. I know better enough to know that if someone's going to choose Beauty and the Beast versus Bedknobs and Broomsticks, I'm sorry, Beauty's the better bee. Oh yeah, wait. So let's be honest. It's a good fight. I will say it's a very intellectual fight. But just in the same breath that a fight doesn't necessarily have to be about winning individually and having it's great intellect on Merlin, but if you take a look at the character linearness and that they're both very, very flat, they don't go through any kind of evolution, not only during the movie, but also during the fight. It's just win, 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 win. Oh, look, I'm smart. I win. Versus you see the ups and downs. You see the character curves that happen within a much shorter and yet more memorable fight between Gaston and Beast. I think it stands out as an ultimate classic Disney moment. And there's a reason that people haven't probably watched Bedknobs and Broomsticks since you had to rewind the video when you had to return it.
Awesome. All right, Blister. So let's wrap it up on this one. What do you think?
You got it. Well, I'm going to have to correct my esteemed opponent here. It was actually the Sword in the Stone, not Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I appreciate that magic is a little bit fuzzy where you come from, but let's make sure we get it right. So when we talk about like the overall arc, I think that there was still an arc. You have Madame Mim who's going out with like brute force, and it's supposed to be a battle of wits. So you actually see this scenario that plays out where they're actually tit for tat, but then you actually have Merlin overcoming it and the time of the pandemic, I've got to give it to him. Like that was just a genius, just a stroke of genius to be able to infect his opponent and something that she could not overcome. So in terms of just the overall wits, you see that, but then this genius stroke that's played out. So I respectfully, I'm going to disagree. I think that there wasn't a very clear arc. Very clear arc in the person that you might least expect it, and that was with the character of Wart, the character of young Arthur, recognizing that brute force isn't going to win, but he needs to use his smarts. So that's good.
Awesome. So again, two really great choices. So we're gonna turn it over to the viewers. And so the big thing with the viewers, again, guys, I want to make sure it's not specifically on this question when this poll goes out. This is who do you guys want to see on? So based on these arguments, based on the arguments we've seen over the last few questions, who do you guys want to see to move on? So whoever wins this is going to go to the semifinals. Like I said, that doesn't mean these other guys are out. They have a chance to come back on the wild card, but it does guarantee this the winner to move on over to the semifinals. So let's put that poll up. Poll is up.
Willis, shout out to probably the best comment I've read tonight with Merlin COVID.
COVID one.
I've read tonight, hands down. That was brilliant.
Well done.
So as we're
say the wrong thing.
As we're waiting on kind of the votes to come in and see about that, what were you guys' favorite questions? I'll start with you, guest. Favorite question tonight, favorite answer. What'd you really enjoy tonight?
Oh, the movie Mashup by far. That one, I wasn't kidding when I said, so when I had to cancel Friday stream also, I was literally laid up in bed, sitting on my phone, creating this narration, for like an hour. And it was so much fun to have to go back into these characters and very famous quotes and movies and try to recreate it and figure out how you're going to make this really unique combination or potential combination, because we had other options we could choose from too, work. It was a lot of fun and really pushed just the for what a normal debate would be, because we love stats, we love numbers, we love having back and forth, this kind of back and forth, but it's a whole different type of thing to have the creative side be a part of it and then have to sell your pitch even further. That one was for me like the best by far.
How about you, Sky High? Favorite question, favorite answer?
I mean, I definitely am gonna say the same thing. Once I saw that, I was like, all right, we're just gonna go all in on that. And everything else, I'll just kind of figure it out. I really liked it. There's just a lot of answers from the other two people that I kind of wasn't expecting. Like Pirates? Pirates Shanghai was definitely one I wasn't expecting that I thought was a really good answer. I really liked Guest with Hellfire, because I'm a huge Hunchback fan, and it's hard to insult it at all, because it goes in back and forth for my favorite Disney movie myself. But a lot of fun.
How about you, Blister? Favorite question, favorite answer?
Favorite question for me was best villain song. My son's like diving deep into all of that stuff, so it gave us an opportunity to come together on something, on a topic. So I really liked researching that. It really kind of was stand out for me. Some of my choices were certainly influenced by the ones that made such an impression on him. Best answer, gosh, I'm gonna have to go. Like, that's really difficult, because like the rebuttals overall were like really, really pretty fantastic. This would be my first kind of structured debate to speak of, so I had to think quick on my feet. So I think that. Gosh, I'd have to go back and take a look. I think that the best answers is probably going to be the movie pitch guests, like with the voices and the sound. I mean, bringing the A game. So.
Yep.
It was, and yet I lost to your awesome voice. Like,
in a world.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to moonlight, as a voice actor someday.
Yeah, but it was just fun. That question is the most fun of all the questions, and I like the placement specifically as number 4 because it's info, numbers, info, stats, fun, info, stupid, silly, best of all time. Like it fits perfectly right there. Leave it there for all of the.
No, the pacing is great with it. I agree.
No, I appreciate that, guys. And so, with that being said, Guest, it looks like you're moving on with 57% of the vote. It was pretty close, 12 to 9. But like I said, all you guys, these other 2 guys, Blister and Sky High, they have a chance of making it back into the semifinals. We're going to be doing 9 episodes. So essentially, we're going to have 9 winners. Those are going to go to 3 different semifinals, 3-on-3s. And those winners of the semifinals are going to move on to the finals. And it's awesome. The biggest thing here, again, want to give big shout out to Meathead and the devs. They have given us some prizes that we can give out in game for these guys for participating, spending the time to, entertain the community. Hopefully, crossing the fingers, we'll see what happens with the finals, but definitely nice prize packs for the winners on these episodes. And again, you guys will have a chance in the semifinals. So definitely love this segment. Again, appreciate all you guys and all the future guests. So again, I've already reached out. We've got a bunch of different episodes lined up. Appreciate all you guys for hanging out and coming on because I know, again, this is a commitment. It's a little bit of time, almost 2 hours each of these episodes, but a ton of fun. Just hanging out with the community, having fun with you guys on these questions. So as we wrap up, I want to kind of throw it back on to each of you guys, kind of let them know where they can find you, what you got going on, whether that's DSA or not DSA related, whatever it is, let them know. So I'll start with you, Guess. We know you got a bunch of links. So let them know how they can find you, what you do.
I'll just summarize by saying, find me most social media places. The biggest one right now I need the most help with is YouTube, as we are pushing the T8 Kronk challenge. We get to 200 subscribers. I will immediately, pieces are ready. We will T8 Kronk and figure out what the hell he could actually do. Apparently he's got 136 speed when I put the stone on him. So we'll see if he actually can keep up. But yeah, you find me here, you find me there, you find me Twitter, find me in the guest list Discord. But half of the time I'm probably here, so I'll see you soon.
All right, Sky High, where can they find you, man? I know you stream as well.
Yeah, just for now, just on Twitch. I'm just gonna put my name in chat. Hi, I'm me, Sky Fan _ on Twitch. Yeah, I don't know. I stream. I like to have a similarly chill vibe that I occasionally go on some weird rant or bit. Yeah, come hang out. I like to have fun.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I love to pop around on all the different streams and everybody who's doing it. And I think that's what's so great about this community, even though, it's not always DSA, and that's totally fine, right? Everybody has fun just chatting, just playing different things. And that's what I really love about the community is all you guys are fun to hang out with. And Blister, how about you, man? Where can they find you? What's going on with you?
So I'm actually taking a quick step back because we've moved halfway across the country, so just kind of finding our footing. So taking a little bit of a break. You'll mostly be able to find me. I have a Twitch channel. You can find me at Blister138 pretty much everywhere online. But most of the time you'll find me hanging out, lurking around in some other streams. Cozy's Party stream, your stream, Sky's. Guess I actually added you to my list. I'll be making the rounds. More of a lurker, but you can find me kind of trying to stir it up behind the scenes.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have you guys on for other segments too. So again, we're going to be doing this every Monday, pretty much for the next two and a half months, something like that. So always 8:00 on Mondays for this segment. But we also do our sorcerer sit downs and different things like that, where we have guests on there, just talking, debating different ideas, different topics. Tinfoil hatting, I know me and guests do that occasionally too when we get some crazy patch notes. So definitely want to get you guys back on those segments as well. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys' time stopping by. as always. Looking forward to the future battles, and again, going to cross those fingers. We'll see if you guys can make it back into the semifinals based on that that vote, the community vote.
Just a quick, huge thank you to you, Dan, for putting this together and inviting us, and I don't know, just having a cool thing for our fun little community.
Absolutely. Thanks for hosting.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
No, I appreciate
You
it.
did a great job putting this all together. I remember when you came to me with the idea, I said, dude, go for it. And you've made this, the graphics you've put together for this, the layout, the advertising, the people you're getting, like you're doing this. This is Monday night. This is where you need to be, and you've done it brilliantly. And just keep it up, man. You're doing a great job. Thanks for being with us.
Genuinely great content.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And again, it's all these viewers that come by, right? Like you guys could be debating here, but if nobody's here to hit the poll and let us know who wins, we don't have a show. So I appreciate all you guys also hanging out with us. And just like we said before, if you guys have ideas, questions you think would be good for these guys, we'll add them to the list. Hit us up on Discord, hit us here, different ways to find us. So definitely appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. And so as I wrap up, we'll probably jump over to DSA a little bit, do some wrap up stuff there for just a little bit. And then I'm going to go try to chop this video down, get over on YouTube. For anybody that maybe has seen this on YouTube now, you can check these out live Mondays, 8 p.m. live. It's so much better live, but always a ton of fun. So again, appreciate you guys for coming on as always. And I'll talk to you guys later.
See ya. Thanks for having me again.
All right.
Thanks, y'all.